afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Run Up Show with Aris. I am Aris, and on the show, we talk about everything events from A to Z. So, thank you so much for joining me again this week. We are talking about planning events during and after COVID. So, today we'll be talking about how to protect your attendees and your stakeholders at your events. And we're going to run through a few things that you can do at your live events because we are now running into people wanting to open up the world and do live events again. And I am here for it. I cannot wait until I can plan a live event. So these are some things that you can look forward to doing at your event. So let's just hop on into it. So just to give you a little bit of background, this information is coming from Informa All Secure. So it is an agency that put out information about COVID-related issues and how to plan an event safely around COVID. So we definitely appreciate the information that we secured from them. So today we're talking about protection and how to detect if a attendee or a guest has COVID at your events. This is the third in the series. We spoke about physical distancing. We then spoke about hygiene and cleaning, and today we're talking about protection and detection. If you have any questions, as always, please leave them in the chat. If you want to give us a little thumbs up, we definitely appreciate those likes, so please hit that like button. You can also hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate seeing those. So today we're going to talk about contact tracing. We are then going to talk about infrared and thermal imaging. So your temperature screening, face masks, isolation area, and why you need that. We'll be talking about first aid and medical support at your event. We're seeing a lot more people having first aid and medical teams there just in case. I definitely recommend you to do that. Also separation screens, personal protective equipment, your incident response plan. So what are you going to do if something happens? So you definitely want to make sure you have those response plans in place. Also employee screening, the health authority engagement, and rapid testing. Okay, so first, contact tracing. Now, if you guys were on one of my previous shows, I touched a little bit about contact tracing, and a lot of large organizations are doing this for their attendees. And how it works is everyone gets a badge, and inside of that badge, there's a little chip that allows the badges to communicate with each other. So that tells us who you were in contact with. So if you, God forbid, come down with COVID, they will be able to trace that to determine where you possibly got the COVID from, who you got it from, and then possible the others who could have gotten COVID from you by the contact that you had with them. So contact tracing is really helpful if you want to do that for your event. Again, I recommend this for very large events. You have a lot of people coming in because, again, like the world is opening up, you definitely want to make sure everyone is safe and secure. But if something happens and someone does contract COVID at your event, you want to make it easy for you to figure out who that person was and who else may have contracted COVID based on who was near them. Okay, and that data is only sent if someone actually contracts the virus. The next thing you can do at your event is thermal imaging and your temperature screening. So there are different methods. A lot of people use the gun, but this is a little bit more accurate. You can put together the equipment at your entrances of your venues, and then once people walk through, it takes like a thermal imaging of their temperature. It gets a more accurate reading than those little temperature guns that you see at a lot of restaurants and venues, because you can actually see the body temperature. And if someone does not have the correct body temperature, if it's too high, you should have quarantine areas for those people. Maybe they were running because they don't want to be late for the keynote speaker and their temperature raised. So they can come back and do walkthrough again to see if maybe their temperature went down. And if not, then there's medical personnel that should be there to assist them. but they should definitely be prohibited from entering the event. Definitely don't want them to come in, even if they say, please, I don't have a temperature. Just have them sit in the isolation area and then let the medical team assist them there. Face masks. Face masks, I'm thinking, are not going anywhere, even though there will be a time soon that I've heard that face masks will not be required, especially as more and more people get the vaccine and the numbers of COVID patients decrease. They have been talking about doing away with face masks, but as you know, a lot of people are still more comfortable with the face mask, even two face masks. I saw someone with two face masks in the plastic screen, so around in front of their face. So they were like triple secure. Okay, so a lot of people are a little leery about removing the mask, and they will still wear the mask in crowded areas, movie theaters, grocery stores, things like that. So just require a mask until that time, and even a little bit after. If you require a mask, I'm pretty sure people will be okay with it. A lot of people kind of are kind of done wearing the mask, but they understand why. They understand it's for their safety, and especially if you have a lot of people in a crowd, majority of people will be okay with wearing a mask. So the isolation area. So this is what I was talking about when you have someone with symptoms of COVID. Have an area outside of the venue, not outside the venue, outside of your conference room, away from the rest of the attendees, where people can go to relax, can get their temperature checked again, can talk to a medical professional about what their symptoms are and go through different procedures. So definitely have that area for them just to be comfortable and be isolated from everyone else. So that's a very good idea to have. A lot of people are doing that. And you definitely need medical support there for those areas. You can have a medical team, you can have first aid stations, and definitely have enough signage so people know where to go in case they have a question. So definitely have a medical team there if you have an event, just in case anyone comes down with an illness for questions and for the additional help with the COVID-related symptoms if some of your attendees have COVID-related symptoms. Separation screens. So the different areas where separation screens would be helpful is between your attendees and staff. So that's help desk area, registration area, your food and beverage area for sure. You have a screen over the food in a lot of the hotels and venues. They'll already do that for you. Your coat check area, and also your security. Maybe your security is behind a screen or in some type of a booth where they're protected as well. So you definitely want to make sure your staff is protected and safe, because they run your event and you don't want to put their lives at risk either, or their health at risk. Your cleaning supplies. So every event planner has their event planning kits. They have things in there like zip ties, markers, pens, Band-Aids, fishing line. I mean, it runs a multi-use tool, scissors. It runs the gamut. So in your cleaning supplies now, we're going to have gloves, masks, wipes, hand sanitizer, sprays. So make sure you have your cleaning supply COVID kit ready for your event. So definitely lots and lots of wipes, hand wipes as well as Lysol surface wipes. Have extra masks, extra gloves, and definitely your hand sanitizer in your cleaning supply kit as well. So your incident response plan. You definitely need this, especially right now. You need to know what you're going to do in case there's an incident, in case there's an event, in case there's a breakout. So if you have all of those things in place, you have your thermal screening, you have your medical team in place, it makes it a lot easier to develop your plan if you have a team there to implement your plan. So it makes no sense in having a COVID plan if you don't have a medical team. It doesn't make any sense if you're going to have a COVID plan to help with that has your protocols on it if you don't have any way to carry those out. So make sure you put together a plan and you have all those elements in place so you can successfully implement your plan. So that the response plan is key, definitely key. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure you leave a comment. You do have wipes, Frankie, and gloves, and that's great. You definitely need them. You need those wipes, you need those gloves and masks in your kit. So thanks so much. So your employee screening, you want to make sure not only your attendees are screened, but your employees are screened as well. So some event organizers and some venues are requiring their employees to be screened each workday. So they'll have a thermal screening there that they have to walk through to enter work. And you never know, someone may be well and they feel good one day and they fall sick the next. So you want to make sure that everyone coming into your venue is safe and that they are at a normal temperature. So screening every day for your employees, for your staff. You can also have testing there as well and medical team on site for them as well. You may choose to have a separate area for your team. That's your choice. If you have a big enough budget, if you have a big enough space to have a separate quarantine area outside of them entering into the venue for your employees as well. So definitely check for your sore throats, your fever, your chills, your cough. You just want to make sure everyone is safe. Rapid testing. So you can get a COVID test really quickly if you do rapid testing. And of course, that will have to be administered by a medical professional, but you can have that on site for your event as well. You may want to get you may want to require that your attendees show a vaccination card or a negative COVID test. If you're requiring a negative COVID test, maybe 2 or 3 days prior to your event, you want to make sure that they have that. And then for those who may not have gotten their COVID test, you may want to have rapid testing on site. And there are a lot of people who are asymptomatic and they don't show any signs of being sick. So they don't know that they're sick. They say, I don't have any signs of being sick, so I'm going to go get my test. I feel fine. And then they have a positive COVID test because they didn't know that they were asymptomatic, in which if you are asymptomatic, you don't have any signs. You don't show any signs of having the virus. So it is helpful, again, if you have a number of attendees coming to your event, and depending on where they're coming from, if you have maybe international attendees, you may want to encourage everyone to get a rapid test. So that can be really, really helpful. As a planner, we screen our staff. Oh, that's great. That's great, Frankie. So you are implementing some of these procedures in place. I'm happy to hear that. A lot of planners are. So we definitely want to continue on just to make sure all our all of our events going forward are safe for all of our stakeholders, all of our staff, all of our attendees, all of our sponsors, as well as the employees of the venue that we're having our event in. We want to make sure everyone is safe. So if we implement these procedures, we can ensure the safety as much as we possibly can for everyone attending. So that is all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to contact me with any questions, feel free to reach out at that email address or my phone number there. I'm again ready to jump into the live event planning. There are some things on the calendar for October and September I know that are coming up. So if anyone wants to have an event or wants to discuss with me, plan how to have a COVID safe event, please do so. And thank you again for joining me today on another run of show. Tomorrow, there will be the last one in our series on how to keep your employees and staff and stakeholders safe during events. So COVID safety planning during your event planning. So please reach out to me if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.